What is a telltale sign someone is not to be trusted? When you've just met them and they start telling you a secret about someone we both know. God, it makes me so uncomfortable when people just blurt out someone else's secrets. That person would be uncomfortable with me knowing it. Hence the secrecy. And I never even asked to be told. Owed someone $70. Was broke as hell and couldn't pay it for a few days. Ended up revealing one of my secrets and nearly ruined everything for me. I learned my lesson with who I tell my secrets, and that's myself. If you do something and don't want anyone to ever find out, don't tell anyone. They brag to you about how they fooled so and so. Yeah buddy. You're next. My co-worker was bragging about selling a guy his Jeep with a cracked transmission that he had patched. He told me this proudly and I told him he was a real piece of shit. She blames other people for all of their problems. People like that will do shitty things and see nothing wrong with it. Because it's someone else's fault they did it. They're angels and everyone else led them to do bad things. Knew a girl like this in college. The usual pattern with her tended to be treat friend like shit. Friend says hey WTF. Not cool. Girl denies she did anything wrong. Says friend is overreacting. Rinse and repeat a few times until friend gets fed up and stops hanging out with her. I know people who still have her added on Facebook. And I've heard she frequently posts Winnie statuses asking why she has no friends. If someone tells you someone else's secrets, they will tell someone else your secrets. Those that gossip with you will also gossip about you. If a notification pops up that says, whoever will remember that. When they sleep with your wife. Dear sir, I hope this letter finds you in good health and in a prosperous enough position to put wealth in the pockets of people like me, down on their luck. You see, that was my wife who you decided to. They have a lot of stories about all the many people who have wronged them over the years. You'll soon realize what the common denominator was in all those cases, them. When they threaten to tell someone your secret just because they don't get what they want. It's called blackmail. Blackmail is such an ugly word. I prefer extortion. The X makes it sound cool. According to security system commercials, if they are white males with 5 o'clock shadow, if they look like Jay Cutler, I don't really care if they can be trusted. I'm sticking around. Trying too hard to get you to do something you are hesitant to do. In dating context, when your soul always has their phone on them around you, but never seems to answer when they aren't with you. I'm currently dating a guy like this. He warned me about it when we first met. So I've tried to be understanding. I just can't take it anymore. Now if I could just get a hold of him to end it. I guess I should have seen this coming. They have a handy excuse or explanation for everything. Usually this means they're pretty good at lying. Or at the very least they won't own up to mistakes. If I like someone, I do talk about them behind their backs. And I say nice things. Sheet man. Mike's really funny. You know he's kicking us at his job too. Huh. I didn't know that. We should, oh sheet. He's coming. Hey asshole. What's up? When they tack believe me. Trust me. And I promise on to what they are saying. Especially making demands for trust prematurely. Shortly after beating them. Trustworthy people show that they are trustworthy through their actions. Not their words. It's understood that this takes time. They wear a leather baseball hat. I've never met a trustworthy person in my life who wore a leather baseball hat. When they treat their parents, siblings, or animals poorly. I cold stopped hanging out with whom at the time was my best friend because he met a girl who was way too needy. To the point of getting angry when he spent time with his widowed mother, so he stopped visiting her. She always treated him very well and paid for his college. Duck that sheet. My grandmother told me once. Never trust a girl who is not ticklish. I am super ticklish and my husband tickles me pretty often. One day he was trying to tickle me but wasn't getting the right spots, so to mess with him back, because he's not ticklish, I put on my serious face and told him there was something I needed to tell him. By my tone, he was concerned. I told him that I have been lying to him throughout the entirety of our relationship and that I wasn't really ticklish. I told him it started off with me just pretending so it wasn't awkward and I wanted us to have fun and for him to like me. But that the hole just got deeper and deeper and I didn't know how to stop it. He was in disbelief and was questioning what other things I could be hiding. How I was able to fool him so well. I let it carry on for a couple of minutes before I told him I was just ducking with him. Took him a moment to realize I was indeed ducking with him. They push for personal experience details without sharing any. How do you mean exactly? I am not the most social person, so I just ask people about themselves and I try to learn about them. I don't share if I'm not asked though usually. They have a handlebar mustache and a cape. Never trust anyone that says, "Trust me. Trust me. This guy's lying." When they throw you under the bus. Dang it, Carl. Quit throwing me under all those school buses. It's starting to make me lose trust in you. If they treat people in a service position like shit. And not under duress or a weird life circumstance. I get that shit happens and people get upset. But as a matter of course they're just dickheads to people they deem lesser because they are being served by them and they think that sort of bullshit uncouth behavior is appropriate. I once was out with a new group of friends and someone laughed at me for thanking our server for refilling my Diet Coke. That's their job. They insisted. Like showing appreciation for the service you get is a hassle. It takes 2 seconds to thank someone in a kind tone and smile at them. It takes 2 seconds to acknowledge someone else's humanity. The idea of money erasing your obligation to behave with basic decency is so gross. They come out of nowhere and act like your best friend. You know they're gonna ask you for money. If you know someone who badmouths other people to you, you can bet they also badmouth you to other people. When given a choice and they choose unfrosted Pop-Tarts. The thread isn't about how to spot a total psycho. When they like to lean against a wall while flipping a coin. 100% guarantee they are dishonest and there's a pretty good chance they are also a cartoon wolf. Any unnecessary aggressiveness or controlling behavior. One time, I was working with this girl. She was almost crazy for me. Always talked to me. Walked with me. Tried to make social plans. We were doing an assignment together and I thought it'd be easier to get the answers from an education source online. She said no. I think we should come up with the answers ourselves. Note. She said we. Well. I just wanna look up the answers so I can study them later. She slams my laptop shut and, almost shouting, says no. We should come up with the answer ourselves. This was the red flag. I can understand if you wanna do things your way. But forcing it isn't gonna help. You just slammed my ducking laptop. You put your hands on my property. I wasn't having it but I knew I had to get this finished. I finished the assignment with her and immediately left the library. I got in my car before she could talk to me. I sat somewhere else from her and during school. In that class, I'd always catch her staring at me across as if she completely missed the reason why I blocked her from my life. Edit because everybody's kinda getting it wrong. The teacher was totally chill with us looking up the solutions because we were supposed to use it as a study guide anyways. Is that clear for everyone? Because I hope enough people will see this. When you've only known them a short time, say 2 weeks or so, and they're already telling you that you're their best friend. How close they feel to you. etc. When all you've had is relatively casual contact with them. An individual who speaks poorly of people they otherwise deem to hold in high regard, for example, friend, significant other. In other words, they will most likely do the same to you. If they are wearing those glasses with a fake nose and mustache attached. Bonus if they are holding a newspaper in front of their face and wearing a trench coat. If someone leaves there so to start a relationship with you. It's just a matter of time until they leave you to start a relationship with someone else they meet. It depends really. I mean, I left my asshole of an ex who was on the way to becoming abusive. He was already emotionally abusive and manipulative, and apparently no meant nothing to him no matter the situation. I only stayed because he said he would heal himself if I ever left him. I went off to college and met a guy who was super sweet, so I dumped crazy after 2 weeks and got with a new guy 2 days later. It's been 4 years and I've never been happier. We have 4 cats together. Moved across the country together for work. And are now just starting our careers. What you're saying is true in most cases. But it seems to be the opposite when it comes to people getting out of shitty abusive long-term relationships. Biting ice cream. Ah shit, I do that. Me too. But I'm super trustworthy though. Trust me. They chain ladies to railroad tracks. And twirl their mustaches. People who dislike pizza. I used to hate pizza as a kid. Don't worry. I converted. When they lie about small and important things, they will also lie about big things. They are breathing. And their heart is beating. Had this girlfriend who would cheat on me non-stop. I had a feeling it was happening. But was stupid because she would say I'm cheating on her with my friends. That's the day a friend of mine told me about projecting. She was basically sleeping around like crazy. I ended up finding out. And she would always say how I was cheating. She was projecting that shit hardcore. I ended up getting tested for everything because she was like a serial whore. Between finally reading her diary and cheating her text messages and photos, I came to the conclusion she probably cheated on me with well over 20 men. What a rick. She then called me 2 years after the breakup after trying to friend my sister to get back with me. And wanted a place to stay. Duck that. I haven't dated in a pretty long time because it was just such a horrible relationship. When she keeps bringing up past mistakes, situations you feel you've more than made up for. Months, years after the fact. She isn't going to be happy with anything. She's a miserable iced at best, and her actions are borderline abusive at worst. Either way, that shit isn't healthy. Hopefully some other red flag would have told you to move on before that specific red flag shows, but if you are still with someone and they start pulling subtle reminders like that, leave. If you don't wash your hands after using the restroom, I can't trust you at all. Plus, now I have to think about all the paperwork that you touch. It's gross. Beverly. My mama used to tell me someone who will lie for you will lie to you. She also said a bunch of stupid stuff about alligator teeth, so I have no idea if it's true or not. You're a software engineer and someone comes to you with this sentence. I've got a great idea. Think you can program it? Talking shit about other people. They're going to do the exact same thing about you with someone else. Just keep those people at arm's distance. And reveal nothing to them. Just smile and nod. Don't even affirm anything they've said. Because that will result in them thinking you agree with them. And thus, you talking shit as well.